Welcome back to Andersen Acres. Today we're talking about one of the most rewarding and sometimes challenging experiences in raising goats. I'm talking about bottle babies. If you've ever raised a bottle kid or are thinking about getting one, you know they require an awful lot of care. But they also form an incredible bond with their caretakers. Shadowfax, I don't need help. I don't need help. Don't need help. Shadowfax is helping me. I don't need help. Thank you. So in this video, no helping. No. Stop. No. So in this video, we're going to go over the pros and cons of raising bottle babies, where to find one if you're looking to purchase, and how to properly feed them, including the importance of colostrum and what to do if you don't have access to it, and then what to feed them after that first 24 hours. We're also going to talk about how much to feed them, the dangers of overfeeding, and the pros and cons of raising multiple bottle babies at the same time together. And don't forget, I will show a chart that I stole from someone else. I think the place I stole the chart from is on the chart itself, but it's a chart of how much to feed your babies based on how much they weigh. So let's get to it. Oh my God. We are licking my legs now. Thanks. That's fantastic. I can't get away from you, can I? You're my Mr. Snuggles. Okay, so let's start with the pros and cons of raising bottle kids. The first big pro is they really bond to you. Bottle babies become incredibly friendly and affectionate, which is great if you want a super social goat. You also have full control over their nutrition. You know exactly what they're eating, which can help ensure that they grow up strong and healthy. And you can save a rejected or an orphaned kid. Sometimes bottle feeding is the only way to keep a kid alive if the mother rejects it or if the mom isn't producing enough milk. There are a few cons. It's not for everyone, because bottle babies are a huge time commitment. You're feeding them multiple times a day, often for weeks. They can get overly attached, so sometimes bottle babies struggle to integrate with the herd because they see humans as their family. They can also be expensive. Formula and bottles and extra care, all that adds up, especially if you have more than one of them. So bottle babies can be a joy, but they are a lot of work and not everyone is meant for them. So speaking of finding one, let's talk about where you can actually get your bottle baby. If you're looking to buy a bottle kid, there are a few places to check. Look at local farms. Sometimes farmers have bottle babies due to rejection. Maybe they have too large a group, so maybe a mama had quads. She can only feed two. So you might end up from local farms. That's where I prefer to get mine if I'm going to get them. I don't love bottle babies. I don't love the bottle. I love bottle babies. I just don't love the bottle feeding. It's a lot of work. But if I'm going to do it, a local farm. Stop licking my legs. It's like, but I love you, Mama. You're so annoying. This isn't about you. But yeah, if I'm going to get a bottle baby, a local farm is where I'm going to get them. You can try livestock auctions. This is not ideal. Be careful. You never know the goat's health history. You don't know if that baby's going to die on the way home. So I don't love getting them at livestock auctions, though it is an option for some. Maybe you have a goat rescue organization in your area. Sometimes bottle babies come into rescues and they need experienced caretakers or just people willing to put in the time. And there's always online listings. So places like Craigslist or Facebook livestock groups, farm websites, sometimes they'll have bottle babies for sale. And yes, generally you do have to purchase them. Typically, you are not going to be able to get a bottle baby for free. Sometimes, maybe, sometimes, but generally, yes, you do have to pay for them. They tend to be at a lower cost than ones a few weeks older because all the work you have to do, but generally they're not free. So now let's talk about colostrum. Colostrum is liquid gold for newborns. It contains vital antibodies that protect them from illness. A kid needs colostrum within those first 24 hours. After that, the body can't absorb the antibodies properly anyway, so if the kid is more than 24 hours old, colostrum won't help. If you don't have access to the mother's colostrum, there are some other options. You can look for frozen colostrum from another goat. If you have a milking herd yourself, always freeze the extra colostrum, put it in your deep freeze, label it well. And if you are getting a bottle kid that hasn't had colostrum, ask the farm if they have frozen colostrum that you can feed the baby. Okay? If you can't get actual colostrum from a goat, the next best thing is colostrum replacer. Now, not all formulas include colostrum, so make sure it's a high quality replacement for goats. Okay? Specifically, don't use a colostrum replacement from another animal if you have any other choice. You want to get one that's specifically for goats. You also might want to get milk from another healthy animal, like another goat, goat milk from a fresh, healthy animal, but it's not colostrum, but it's better than nothing, right? I mean, can they survive without colostrum? Yeah, but it's so hard, okay? It's so much harder. Their immune system just not what it should be. So colostrum, if at all possible. After the first 24 hours, though, it is time to transition to regular feeding. So let's talk about what you feed your bottle baby next. After colostrum. They're 24 hours old. Now what? So once you're past the colostrum stage, you'll be feeding goat milk or milk replacer. What are you doing? I know, but not all of life is about you. Not all of life is you. Sometimes life is someone else. Yeah, sometimes life is someone else. Also, there's turkey. We also have a rabbit on the loose right now. So if you see a rabbit dash past, it's because she's on the bramble. Whatever, we're not going to worry about it. Anyway, colostrum. After colostrum, what do you do? So once you're past that stage, you'll be feeding goat milk or milk replacer. So fresh goat milk is best, okay, if you have access to it. If somebody you know milks goats, it is a really good idea to get your milk from them, okay? Get fresh goat milk. If you can't get that, there are two different options that I prefer. The first is actually, I like whole milk. Whole cow's milk. I like it. It's a good option if milk isn't available, but it does lack some of the nutrients for babies. It's not quite high enough in fat, so I like to add a little bit of heavy cream to increase the fat content. Okay, he's grabbing my leg again. Like he's absolutely crazy. Anyway, the other option is a milk replacer specifically for goats. Not generic livestock formulas. That's not going to help anyone. You want actual goat milk replacer. Okay? If you don't have goat milk replacer, just go with the whole milk. Don't try a cow milk replacer or anything like that. Just grab yourself a 4-liter or a gallon of whole milk at your grocery store. Literally, it works. How much do you feed? Well, that depends on their weight. Here's the chart I referred to earlier. So this chart is breaking it down by weight, so follow it closely, because overfeeding can cause bloating, and the weights, by the way, are in pounds in this chart. If you overfeed, it can cause bloating, diarrhea, and it can even kill them. You can end up with floppy kid syndrome. It's from overfeeding. You're better off giving smaller, frequent meals and not overfeeding them and getting their bellies all full of milk. Okay, you don't want them to eat too much. They will cry for more food, but once they've eaten the appropriate amount, they are fine. Stop grabbing my back. Oh my God. The babies will not... Shadowfax, that tickles. But the babies will not starve before their next feeding. I promise. Okay, I really, really do promise. They will be okay. So just feed them the appropriate amount, and then they're going to cry. They're going to cry. And when they cry, you're going to have to ignore them, okay? You're going to have to ignore them. So now let's talk about mixing and storing the formula or the milk you use safely. Proper mixing and storing of formula is key, because if you don't mix it properly, it won't have the right consistency and it can cause digestive upset. And if you don't store it properly, it goes bad and you can make your kids sick. So here's what we need to know. Always mix the formula according to the package directions. Do not get creative. If it says 3-to-1, you mix 3-to-1. Okay? 3-to-1 is the rule if that's what the package says. If it says 4-to-1, you do 4-to-1. Don't try to get creative. Okay? The mixture is what the mixture is. Too thick or too thin will cause digestive upset. Also use warm water. Oh, we're finally getting up, maybe. You also want to use warm water because cold formula can cause digestive upset. You want to store mixed formula in the fridge and use it within 24 hours. Maybe we're not getting up. We're scratching our tummy. That's scratching our tummy, by the way. It's nothing weird. This is what goats and horses and everyone else does when they need to scratch their bellies. So, mixed formula is what I was talking about. Mixed formula can be stored in the fridge for up to 24 hours. Don't leave it sitting out, and don't use it past 24 hours. If it's been 24 hours, just mix a new batch. You want to clean your bottles after every feeding. Bacteria are going to grow fast in those used bottles. Please use clean bottles every single time. It doesn't take long to clean a bottle. Just do it. Okay, next I want to talk about raising multiple bottle kids. Yes, shadow facts, I know. So I want to talk about raising multiple... Oh, that's nice. Thanks. But I want to talk about raising multiple bottle kids. So, thinking about raising more than one bottle baby, there are pros and cons to that choice. So the pros, the 2 babies or 3 babies will bond to each other. Okay? They will. They'll have a playmate. They'll learn goat behavior. They'll have a great time together. When you're not home, they have someone to be with. It can be a really good situation. And they're less likely to be overly attached to humans, meaning they'll integrate with the herd better because they won't think you are the only thing in the world. However, the cons, well, it's twice as much work. It's a lot of work raising 1, never mind 2 or 3. Feeding time can be chaotic, to say the least, and it gets expensive fast. Okay? So the expense is a downside. Now she's scratching her neck. But the expense can be a downside. The expense can be a downside anyway. So the expense for 2 or 3 or more babies is even more. Okay? So definitely think about it before you bite off more than you could chew. If you can handle the extra work, raising more than one can be a lot of fun. It can be a great choice. It's not for everyone. So think long and hard before you bring home baby number 2. And that's basically a wrap on bottle babies. Raising a bottle kid is a big commitment, but if you do it right, you'll end up with a healthy, happy goat. Don't forget to check out the feeding chart that I put up on the screen. It's coming up again right now for reference. And if you have any questions, drop them below. I'll try to answer them best I can. It's been a couple years since we had a bottle baby. We are going to do it again, probably with sheep. Why sheep? My dad likes sheep. So, yeah, I might get some sheep just for him. He likes sheep. So, don't forget to let me know what your experiences are with bottle babies in those comments below. That's about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. We'll see you tomorrow.